It all started with the desire of giving up everything and decided to travel and be totally free.
Meet Palebo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. At the age of 50, he made a bold decision. He sold everything, his house, his car, his furniture, and set out with a quest to visit every single country in the world, documenting everything along the way. This is the Radio Vagabond Podcast.
The meaning of this podcast is to inspire you about traveling. I share both stories about different destinations and my life as a digital nomad. And then once in a while I meet some truly inspiring travelers and digital nomads, and I sit them down for a brief talk. This is one of those.
And sure enough, they call us here in Chiang Mai the dinosaurs.
And you can really look forward to getting some inspiration from a couple that have lived this lifestyle more than anyone.
Did you bring the fax machine?
Yes, we brought the fax machine. Yeah.
Everybody was laughing. Laughing at the airport. We had a fax machine in the cases, and that was we're leaving.
But before we get started, let me mention that this episode is sponsored by Hotels25.com. That's an amazing site that will help you find the best prices on hotels around the world. Hotels25.com, best price guaranteed. And by motion graphic designer Thomas Andreasen from A3D. He does great work, like the animation of my Radio Vagabond logo on my YouTube channel, a3d.dk. In my interview series where I talk to travelers and digital nomads, today I'm talking to probably the world's first digital nomads. They started as analog nomads. The lovely couple, Carou Llou and Michel from Montreal, Canada, started their local independent lifestyle more than 22 years ago in 1994. I met them at their apartment in Chiang Mai, Thailand, by the side of the swimming pool with aeroplanes passing over our heads, just before they moved to their next home in Hong Kong.
I heard someone say the other day, if there's like a family tree of digital nomads, you guys are the roots, because you started being a digital nomad before there was even such a term.
Yes, we actually found out about the term a few years ago, and it was like, what? Oh, okay, this is like what we do. We actually started as location independent before even like the digital age, really. Because when we left Canada 22 years ago, we were more what we would call analog nomad, because we left with our fax machine. When we sold everything and gave up everything, all we had left was what we were wearing then and our fax machine. So
did you bring the fax machine?
Yes, we brought the fax machine. Yeah.
Everybody was laughing. Laughing at the airport. We had a fax machine in the cases, and that was we're leaving.
Well, where is it? It's like a long time broken, I think. But like in 1998, I launched our first websites. Like e-commerce then, and I think we kept the fax a little while, but I think it's in 1998 or 1999 that there was like JFax kind of thing where the people who were wanting to communicate with us by fax, they could do it. We didn't need to receive it by fax anymore. We received it like into an email.
So what is it that you do? How do you make a living?
It has evolved, along the years. It has been, many things. We've got involved, mostly like in setting up businesses. That would be, still today we have a few businesses online in the travel industry, fashion industry. But let's say that there has been an evolution, and we made like either co-ventures at some points, but it was always related with more or less e-commerce. And we had like a consultation business, like international business strategies. So we kind of like supported a lot of either people or, like companies at the beginning times of the internet to establish their presence internationally.
But 22 years of travel, so you must have been around the world many times.
Well, we've done quite a few countries. We're not finished. We're not through because we don't intend to settle yet, and that keeps us young as well. But it all started with the desire of giving up everything, and decided to travel and be totally free. And sure enough, they call us here in Chiang Mai the dinosaurs of the digital nomads. But it was a real choice that we've taken together. And from opportunities to opportunities, it has grown on us because we are business people. We're open-minded people. We always looking for things interesting to do, and we always brainstorm together. We always find things, and that's how we were having fun. And also, the one thing that if we decide to do something on a special project, the one first criteria is got to be sustaining our freedom, and I would say the second is got to be fun. If we're not going to have fun in that, we're just not interested. So that's how we pick and choose, and having fun as well.
And talking about picking and choosing, how do you decide where to go? I know that you're leaving Chiang Mai tomorrow to go to Hong Kong, but is it these days? Are you going back to places you've been to before, or are you exploring new places?
We do a little bit of both, because there are like these cities of the world we fell in love with, that we're still in love with, and that we always hope to be back to. So we go back to these places where a piece of our heart is still there, and we alternate with new places that we discover. So we kind of like find a way in between. We kind of have a route that we kind of do, like usually spring and fall. We're usually in Europe, and between November and March we're usually either in South America, Africa, or Asia. And let's say in the hottest month we're more like up north, like either Scandinavian countries, or also visiting family in Montreal. So yeah, we alternate between those two. It's like partly going back home in all these homes in our perception in all these cities, and adventure, which is discovering a new place.
Yeah, and tomorrow you're going back to Hong Kong, and you told me that you really like it there. What's so special about Hong Kong?
Hong Kong, the first flash we had of it is about I think 19 years ago, the first time we went. It was like New York, but like Asian, it was just at the beginning of our Asian discovery. And we always have been kind of like in love with New York. We're like really urban people, okay? We're mostly from one city to another. So that was like, wow, like the Asian dream, but like that New York with that culture that is completely different. Mm-hmm. So that was just exciting, and to walk in the streets and be, like surrounded by all these colorful signs, and like the food and the little tea rooms, and just then the street food, shops, and Twilight Zone, really exciting. And we went back a few times since then, but this time we're going to go for a few months. It will be the first time we go for so long.
Yeah. So your first visit to Hong Kong, was that back in the day when it was British?
No, it was after. Yeah, I wish, we had seen it back then, and I wish we had flew and, landed with the old airport that was going between the buildings, but no, we arrived after.
Yeah. So you travel with an inflatable globe. Maybe we should get some air in it, and because I would like to go a little bit back in time. I won't expect you to tell all the places you've been on this round ball, but we're going back to to 94, I guess, when you started your travels. Wow, that's a long time ago. Where did you go first, and did you expect that it was going to be without any end date?
Okay, we first went to Phoenix, Arizona. And at that time, we just subletted our apartment in Montreal. We didn't like do the full jump. And we soon discovered that Phoenix was not for us at all. It was just, not our kind of, and nothing to talk against Phoenix. It was just not for us.
To go in the USA as well. That was the beginning. That
we went to the sun.
The sun, exactly. You leave the winters, the Canadian winters, like anybody knows if they've been in Canada in the winter time is just like not. You can't stand winters in Canada, anyhow, for us. So that was part of leaving. And not only that, a dream of being free together.
The winter is great if you do like winter sports and if you're really into it. So it's like nothing like against the winter itself. It's just that this is something, like that. It was our first like intent to go towards the sun, let's say. But it didn't happen in Phoenix because, like I said, it was not for us. So we just ended up, coming back and then back and forth. And we went to Florida and then we did some back and forth. And eventually we went to Panama and to Mexico. And anyway, to make that step to that final leaving, it was in 1996 that we really gave up the apartment and sold the little we had, really, because we didn't have money.
Sorry, I can't stop laughing because Michel was turning blue from airing that. You really think that's good enough?
No, we're getting there. Here we are.
Still a little bit soft, but
Yeah,
but okay. So this is your playground. I'm sitting holding one of those. What do you call it? Balloon earth balls for kids play with it in the pool.
It's a beach ball with.
It's a beach ball. Yeah.
With the whole world on it, and actually, this is really actually the way we decide where to go. With this season, Carou Llou is very good at that. Whenever we decide on the future plans, we're going to look at the weather patterns. We're going to look at, a few little details that pleases us. And then she comes in and she is the best organizer. I always tell her she should be a travel agent to to be able to organize 6 months or 9 months ahead and coordinate all the planes, all the Airbnb or the hotels and everything so well organized. We've never had, especially the last trip, we had maybe, I don't remember, maybe 15 flights in all of Europe that we had to take different days, different hours, and everything was spot on. We never missed a flight. Everything was, and because she's so well organized.
I'm good for us, but 2 times we made my mother come.
Oh, yeah.
And I miscalculated. I forgot the +1 in the days.
Oh.
And I forgot it also for the return. She was leaving at 1 in the morning. So basically, also because she missed a connecting flight, she basically had 3 days left than we intended in Bangkok. And another time we went to pick her up in Istanbul, Turkey, and we arrived at the airport 1 day before she's supposed to be there because
Good that you didn't come late.
yes, that's better.
Poor woman. Oh, we did.
So I'm not so good for the others, but
So right now it's early January of 2017. Have you got all of 2017 planned out?
No, let's say that the big idea we have it pretty much planned out until April. We're going to be, Hong Kong, and then we're going to go to Singapore. We're going to go to India and Dubai. And then after, we're sure to head towards Europe, because usually spring we love to be in Europe. But where in Europe exactly, that is not yet determined. What we only know is that after We will go to visit family in Montreal in the best time, which is the summer. And then after, most likely Europe again, because fall is also a good time in Europe for us. And because we altern when it's like the between November and March period, we've been in Asia this year. So next year it will be most likely South America. That's it's a vague idea, but not fully determined, let's say, from April on.
Do you have any idea how many countries you've been to?
85, yeah. Yeah.
So you're only halfway.
Yeah, not even. I think with...
But that's not the important thing.
You know what? First, we started calculated the countries really when I started my blog 4 years ago. And I thought, I'm going to write the about story. And I knew we had done a lot of countries. What we were counting at the beginning is the apartments we had. We were laughing about it. And I think we stopped counting at 75. But then I started to count the countries. And it was like, hey, we did 58 countries. And then as the blog, kept on going, and as in the last year, we did a lot of countries the last few years. And now we're at 85, and suddenly now we're thinking, yeah, maybe we'll do 100. But it was never, to be honest, like a goal or a contest or a plan, really. I think it just happened in our case.
And the fact that we are, this is our lifestyle, because I hear people say, I've done 175 countries in 2 years. Well, we're not in a hurry. It's our lifestyle. We travel. It's not a vacation. We're always on vacation, actually, what we feel. And the fact that we do live in two small cabin suitcase and 2 medium, that's all we have. That's all we travel with. And we feel totally free. So one time we might decide, let's stay, like the last time we decided that we would stay in Tokyo for 3 months. We just wanted to settle and just relax and have fun and no stress, no traveling stress, because sometimes it is stressful. And that's how we pick our countries, and we're not in a rush to say, we're going to go up to 100, 120. Yeah, if it comes, it comes. If not, we just want to go to places where we enjoy ourselves. That's for sure.
Do you miss anything over the years? Have you ever thought, maybe we should give it up?
Really, really not. It never happened.
Never.
The only thing that has happened, and we're still 2 different people. We're a couple, we're very together, but we might not necessarily want exactly the same thing at the same time. So the thing that we could have, sometimes that we have discussed, and it comes more from Michel, wanting to maybe just more go to places where we've been before. But it doesn't mean stopping. It means going back to the 15 cities around the world where we feel home. That's more what it means. And he's more into longer periods. I'm always more let's go here, let's go there, more changing. And so I always said, if it would have been of Michel, maybe we would have been to 40, 50 countries so far. And if it would have been of me, maybe we would have been to 125, 150 already. But we've been to 85, which is right in the middle. So we find each other in the middle.
So which are some of the cities that you feel home? You've mentioned Hong Kong.
Okay, well, Hong Kong, I love Hong Kong, but because we have not lived a long time, we'll tell you after if we feel home, but I would say yes. We feel home everywhere. That's also the one thing. But our favorite cities is Tokyo, Bangkok, Mumbai.
Mumbai, really?
Yes.
I've been to Mumbai once, and when I left, I thought, I don't need to get back here.
Yeah, I understand why you could feel like that, because it's very intense, and it's very extreme. But yes, Mumbai
Yeah.
is like absolutely amazing experience.
We had the greatest time in India, and the adventures and the fascination of those people. It's a country where you're always what I call in the now, because there is so much thing happening around you. You cannot be in your head. You're just there, living what these people are living. You see all the extremes in terms of poverty, but also in terms of wealth. We've seen there's one of the biggest apartment or house in Mumbai, I mean, constructed with the richest man in India, in the world, actually, one of the richest men in the world. And this grandiose house is right in the middle of slums. So that's the extremes that we see. But there is a soul in India that is very, very special. And India, whenever we went to India, we had two feelings. The one of excitement when we arrive and everything, and after a few months, that was the last time, after 6 months, was it? We just came to a hotel room because we had been around India. We just came into our hotel room, and we had a flight leaving a week after, and we stayed in the room the whole 7 days without getting out. We were ordering food, staying inside because that was it. It was too overwhelming. We said, let's relax before we leave. So, and now we feel like going back.
Well, I'm definitely not done with India. I want to see so much more of India. I love the people there, and but I was only in Mumbai, and I need to travel a lot, extensively throughout India. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then after that?
Okay, Istanbul. Really in love with Istanbul. Let's say we keep on going. You know, I'm like going from east to west. Okay, so Rome, Madrid, Amsterdam, London, Marrakesh. Then, okay, Montreal.
I noticed that you jumped over Copenhagen.
Oh, but I have to go back. Yeah, we didn't live in Copenhagen, but we loved it.
But that's okay. Yeah. That's okay.
No, but we want to go because it's such a bicycle city. I mean, it's like bicycle are king. So yeah, no, Copenhagen, we
Very
enjoyed.
nice.
Yeah. And then we keep on going. Then west, we're talking like, of course, Montreal. Love New York, Mexico City.
Yeah, you said that yesterday,
Yeah.
and that was not on my plan to go to Mexico City until you told me last night. What is so special about that? Because you told me that is one of your absolute favorite places.
It's in the favorites because, as you possibly know, we have many favorites. But like Mexico City, first of all, when we went there, we were like a little bit concerned, you know, like it was having, you know, the bad reputation of pollution and danger. But we still went and we booked 1 month. We heard from a girl who had been there that, you know, you have to see.
She was working in a restaurant, you remember?
In
This is
Panama.
how we got
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
She was an American student, and we're talking with her, small talk, having, you know, a chat with her, and she said, oh, I just came from Mexico City. And I said, what? Because that was never on our list.
Oh.
At one point, we never thought about it even. And I said, oh, you lived in Mexico City? She said, yes, it's fantastic. And I said, yes, is it safe? Because everybody in the whole world think, oh, Mexico, it's not safe, whatever. Well, we decided immediately after a conversation, the next few days, I think we booked a ticket. We said, let's go.
Yeah.
The way she was describing her experience with the Mexican people, the city, how grandiose it is, full of museums, full of spiritual energies, and that we feel everywhere in the city with the people. and as well the Grand Boulevard. This used to be one of the richest city in South America back in the old days. It still is in one way, but they had this boulevard like the Champs-Élysées, and on Sundays they close the street and everybody's bicycling and so on. So Mexico is indeed an extremely beautiful city.
Yeah.
We always go back.
It's like also like the mix of the architecture, of the old architecture, and also like their way of putting the contemporary together with the old. But it's like really also like, and mostly like the people. These people, I would say, like, they're in the most spiritual people of the world, not in a religious way, in a way that they're connected to their heart, and you know, like they're humanly interacting. You're like in one of the biggest cities of the world, and there's nobody you would look in the eye who will not smile at you. And you go to the market and you're trying to know, you know, what's this product and so on, and then you don't buy it, and it's like que se vaya muy bien, you know, like they're like sending you all this like good energy even if you didn't buy anything. It's just, and very cultural. You don't have one street without a bookstore. You don't have one park without a statue. They're really, you know, like cultivated, close to their hearts, close to their to nature. And the food, street food, is like indulgence. It's absolutely fantastic. So hope you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll keep you posted. And then from Mexico City.
Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, I knew you could say that.
So just like this charismatic, like everybody's like its own persona there. Everybody's like playing the play of life, and it's like so intense and dramatic and colorful, and you know, everybody can be their own person, and it's also like a movie. Like every day there's like a movie going on in the sense that there's so many things happening, crazy things. It's like you're a cinema scene, you know. Like
give me an example.
Well, give the one with the ladies.
Oh yeah. Well, every day in Rio. Sure enough, there's areas you don't want to be in, and if you're a little bit of street smart, you just know if you're in the right area. But most likely Copacabana and all the surroundings are safe. There's enough safety, and very seldom you're going to have something. But there's always, when we walk on the street, we're very observant, and we're very street smart as well. Especially when we arrive somewhere we're not too sure, then we check everything. But I see everything. So, and sometimes I would say to Carou Llou, look at what's coming. And one day she's in shopping or trying a dress somewhere, and I'm outside, and I'm just waiting, and suddenly I hear people screaming and all over the place, and I say, what's happening? And I see, suddenly I go on the street, I see a guy, I thought he was an Olympian runner, the way he ran so fast. He ran so fast that everybody, they spoke to each other, because this is something about Rio. If they see someone trying to steal a wallet or do something bad, they're gonna go after them. They're gonna go after the bad person. Everyone. It's like they want to protect their city. They want to protect, you know, the tourists. They want to protect everything. So anyhow, I see, it must have been 75 on one side of the sidewalk, 75 people on the other side, all running, trying to get at him. And they couldn't get...
Like an American football match.
I tell you, I thought I was in a movie. I said, where are the cameras? It was not a movie. And I see older lady trying to throw their bags at him. I see another guy trying to give him a stick on the head. Anyhow, finally, he arrived not too far from us. And the guy is running in between cars, the traffic, and people are still running in between cars. Suddenly I see there's a bus coming. He didn't hit him. He just saw that the guy was in between a taxi and another car, so the bus just blocked the way, and the guy hit the bus a little bit, and that was it. Now they caught him. Then the older ladies came with their handbags. They were hitting him on the head like, bad boy, bad boy. Some older men would slap him in the face like, you're a bad boy, you shouldn't have done that. And that what happened in about 45 seconds, what I'm telling you. So,
I would be afraid that he would pull a gun or a knife.
actually, I think they were secure because he was just like bare chest and a pair of shorts. It didn't look like he had a knife. And I think he had too many people around him to try even to do something. And the police was already there, you know. So it's like, but you're right. He could have had. I would never have ventured to run after a guy myself. No. You know, it's like you never know. It did happen. Yeah. But if you travel to Rio and you're street smart and you look, you know, you don't have to look all the time, but you just want to make sure your surroundings are secure, then you're okay. You don't have to worry.
I know this episode is longer than my average podcast episodes, but they have so much to share after 23 years on the road, and we couldn't really stop. So we'll continue our chat in a minute. But first, let me mention my sponsor again, Hotels25.com. One of the cool things about Hotels25 is that it searches all the top travel sites to find me the best deals around the world. I save a lot of money not having to check a lot of different booking sites to find out where I get the best deal. Hotels25 does that for me. Hotels25.com, best price guarantee.
We can go on for hours. I don't know how long we've been talking.
By now we've passed the half-hour mark, and that's normally my limit for an episode, but then again I thought, what the hell?
Like we've been a long time in Buenos Aires, and
yes,
you know, and we have been also a very long time in Barcelona, and usually also like at places where we've been a long time, you know, it's like a piece of your heart will always be there.
You didn't mention much in Africa?
Africa, we were like in Morocco and South Africa, but this, let's say, is a continent to be discovered because these are the only two countries that we've been to. So this is like virgin territory for us. It's definitely, you know, like in the places where we are going to be expanding our like adventures, discoveries, new places to go. Yeah.
But you told me last night that you had also been to Cape Town.
Yeah, Cape Town, we were there for 3 months, about 7 years ago, I think. And yeah, I mean, it's so beautiful there.
Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, like the weather, the views, the scenery. I was so surprised to see how like there's not that many trees, you know, it's really like bushes. So yeah, we really enjoyed it quite a lot. The food, we had, the fish. That was unexpected there. Like they have such good fish, and
good red wine.
And good red wine.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Have we discovered the South African? That was quite an experience, actually.
Yes.
Because I knew from back home a few South African wines that we enjoyed, and when I went to the wine store, I couldn't believe the prices. You know, back home it would be a $15, $20 bottle, where in South Africa at the wine store, not from the grower or from the winery, it was like a third of the price. And the wines we tasted in South Africa were incredible. This is one thing that we do as well. Whenever we travel, first of all, we like to travel not like a tourist, but we like to be like the locals. And like being a local, what do we do first? We start eating like the locals. And we do consume their beverage, their wine if they have wine. In Tokyo, we had sake pretty much.
For 3 months, like no wine at all.
And that's what we do. We're in Thailand, we eat Thai food. We were in Spain. We eat what they have best.
That's very
jamon.
easy.
That's very easy. This is easy, especially in Italy as well. An easy run for the food. So we always want to do things like local, and I'm not looking, we're not looking, except for a few exceptions. Carou Llou, she likes her Starbucks.
Yeah, I alternate between local coffee and Starbucks. Yes, I admit. But also it depends how long we stay, because like if you're 1 month somewhere, you will go for the local food. But if you're like way longer, all of a sudden you will want your Italian something, or like Chinese break, or so.
Indian break.
So when we're a long time, then we're going to be starting to have some foreign food as well.
And now we're in Chiang Mai. What made you decide to come here?
Yes. Okay. This is like to come and see that phenomenon, because we have been like for so long kind of like in our bubble. Like we do meet entrepreneurs, we do meet travelers. We have met some, like digital nomad having businesses online. We kind of meet people who have some of these elements, but like to meet all here people who share so many things in common, like the traveling, the digital nomad, online business, and also that decision of living your life in your own terms. It's like so many of them in one place. It's like, is this for real? Because like we had to see it with our own eyes. And, we basically came here to socialize with them, to meet them and to meet, to see, like people
and discover the phenomenon. Because for me, I remember in Montreal, I was driving and listening to an interview on the French-speaking Radio Canada, and there was a person from Montreal who had just come back from Chiang Mai, and he says, "Yeah, we're a bunch of digital nomads. We do this, we do that," and I say, "Whoa, what is that?" And that opened my curiosity for sure. And suddenly, for a reason or another, we started to read about it all over the place. And we knew that we were coming to Asia, and we say, instead of staying too long at one place, let's go in Chiang Mai and let's let's see it. And no judgment. We didn't expect anything. We didn't say, it's this, nothing. And to our greatest surprise, we stayed a few days not doing nothing, just relaxing, and then Carou Llou was checking out all the Facebook pages and say, "Oh, there's interesting meeting going on," and we started to go. And my God, when the first time we arrived in there, that was very pleasing for me. Because I'm not the social type really, and very pleasing for me. People welcoming you, people saying hello to you genuinely, they're interested in you, and so on, and vice versa. And that was very, very nice. And then I loved it pretty much, I would say, and we kept going to meetings, and I couldn't believe how many meetings the people are organizing, and people are all sharing their knowledge, they're sharing their experience. And the biggest surprise to me as well was that people just want to share their knowledge and help people out, and they don't want to charge you for it. Yeah. They don't want to, ask you, it's $10 for the entrance and so on. It's everybody's invited. Everybody is, the only thing they ask you, well, just to pay for the little room that we have, we buy a bottle of water, a coffee, or whatever. I thought this is the new generation. I thought this is the new way of doing things. And I see young people feeling pretty good there to say they have the hope of starting something. And you see the people who have done it, who have accomplished, and they're helping. And they don't say, "Oh, you owe me money," because I'm sharing my experience. So this is the new. I can't even explain it. To me, it's the new generation of doing business, of being free, and be giving. That was the most impressive thing for me, Chiang Mai.
Also, like, because we were like kind of like pioneers, maybe like, you know, like on our own, or like didn't really know anyone else who was doing that, like when we started in 1998, let's say the online thing. I was suffering personally from the isolation of like the online entrepreneur, and I would like try to create or try to get together people to go all work together in one place. Or I had made deal with internet cafes like in the mid 2000s to gather people, and I would put ads to gather other entrepreneur, you know. So I kind of started many groups to get out of my isolation. I did it in many cities where we were a long time, but because it was like non-existent. So here to come and see that existing community, it's like a dream come true. It's like what I was dreaming of when I was on my own, when we were on our own, like dreaming of like mingling with other people who were solo entrepreneur as well. But like, you know, you don't have a social life when you're a solo entrepreneur, unless, because normally you make friends, you know, in the normal work environment. You will meet friends at lunchtime or at coffee break. This is how you make friends. Or you go to school and then you have the other students. But as a solo entrepreneur with the online thing, it was like, how do you meet people? You really have to make an effort and make your own community. So that's how I initiated my first ad and putting together Solo Entrepreneur for Lunch. And, you know, I did it like that. So here, that was like, wow, is that true? You know, like, is it like really happening? So yeah, we came here. And the other thing that is really totally impressive is that here, with a community of all sharing these things in common, you have exactly that little something that we feel as world travelers. It's like that ageless, minding, genderless, and, you know, like everything like less, in the sense that it doesn't matter if you already made it or if you're looking to make it. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter where you come from, what's your background. It's all that you share one big thing is that you made a choice in your life to live in your own special way, whatever it is, in whatever field it is, but you're already not in your home country, and you're mingling with people from so various backgrounds, but everybody's open to each other. So this is absolutely the cosmopolitan mind, cosmopolitan consciousness that comes, I think, with the traveling and, you know, like making choices that are besides what you would normally expect in the normal course of life.
I am so glad you decided to come here, and I truly hope that we will be friends forever, and I'm sure that we'll meet again somewhere in the world.
We will. Vive Facebook!
Thank you so much. We could go on for hours.
I know. It's like, especially at the beginning, it's a little bit difficult to start. Like, you're like always a little bit intimidated by the thing. But yeah, we just can keep on going. I mean, this is crazy.
Let's continue somewhere else in the world.
Part
two.
In fact, the part 2 that we were talking about might be coming soon, because I'll be going back to Hong Kong in a few weeks to get the visa to China. So we'll meet again. And maybe, just maybe, get a few more anecdotes from Carou Llou and Michel. If they don't choose to start their own podcast, which I'm really trying to persuade them to. Imagine the stories and experiences they have to share after 23 years of traveling.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. You can see pictures, watch videos, and read much more on theradiovagabond.com. Palais can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at theradiovagabond.com.
My name is Carou. Thanks for listening.